Welcome to Daily Lenten Reflections with Father Stephan Alexander and the Parish of St. Martin de Porres, Coryal. For these reflections, we're using the Ascension Lenten Companion. We invite you to journey with us throughout this Lenten season.
Confess. The Lord is merciful and gracious, slow to anger and abounding in mercy. Monday of the fourth week of Lent. The fourth step of Alcoholics Anonymous is to make a searching and fearless moral inventory of oneself. The fifth step is admit to God, to yourself, and to another person the exact nature of your wrongs. The sixth step is to be ready to have God remove all your defects of character. And the seventh step is to humbly ask God to remove your shortcomings. Of course, all of the steps of AA are important if one is going to live in sobriety. The application of the 12 steps is not limited to alcoholism or drug addiction. Each of us has habitual sin in our lives, and these steps are equally as applicable to these sins as they are to substance abuse. During this next step on the journey, I am inviting you to celebrate the sacrament of reconciliation. For those of us who go to confession on a regular basis, I invite you to go deeper when preparing for this particular celebration of reconciliation. Today, I will focus my thoughts on those who struggle. My experience is that people struggle with this sacrament for one of two main reasons. 1. Vulnerability, and 2. Questioning why one needs to confess to another human being rather than going to God directly. First, most of us struggle with vulnerability. I myself do not necessarily enjoy going to confession. After all, the priests in my diocese to whom I confess my sins all know my voice. There is something about having to articulate such sacred information to another human being that elicits vulnerability. Let me bring you back to Tuesday of the second week of Lent. I shared how our history reveals that there is something about the depth we receive when we choose to share our hearts in vulnerability. It expands our heart. Perhaps this is one of the reasons why Jesus established this sacrament. Second, some of us may struggle with an intellectual or theological assent that confession is a sacrament requiring the ministry of a priest. If this is where you are, may I invite you to take one step in trust. Two resources I recommend for diving deeper into biblical roots of the sacrament of reconciliation are Go in Peace, Your Guide to the Purpose and Power of Confession, and the many videos on confession you can find on YouTube on Ascension Presents. May I ask that you trust me and that you invest time into learning about the reality of what Jesus established. Be not afraid. Trust the process. Together, let's take this next step. Going deeper. Pray through the examination of conscience on page 208. Then read the guide to making a general confession on page 212. Prepare yourself personally for the sacrament of reconciliation. Next, make arrangements to celebrate this sacrament. Where will you go? Which priest will hear your confession? How soon can you go?